Alright, what's up, guys? It's your Canadian boy, your Monday guy, Kason here. And today's week's topic is patience, timing and patience. Now, this one plays a huge factor in probably every trans person out there with timing or patience is a big one. Timing for me was a big one actually because me, I knew that I wanted to be a boy, or I felt like I was supposed to be born a man when I was around 13, but I didn't bring it up to my family or to anyone until I was about 16, or even out to my friends. Like, I had my first girlfriend. When I came out, I identified as a lesbian for the longest time. So I had my first girlfriend, and we would always sit there and talk about, like, I'd be like, babe, like, if I were to tell you that, like, I felt like I should be a boy, like, would you love me any less? And she's like, no. She's like, I kind of have a feeling about it. And it came really easy to, like, telling my friends that I wanted to. I knew I was supposed to not wanted to. I knew I was supposed to be born a boy at the beginning of it because I already dressed like a guy. Like, anything that you see now, like, is no. I didn't dress any different from how I dress now, but yeah, I had the conversation with my mom. It was funny though because she had asked me. She's like, "Are you a top or a bottom?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "How does that even make sense?" She's like, "Well," and this was when she was asking me if I was a lesbian or not, and I was like, "Well, if you're asking me if I like women, then yes, I do." But I was like, "If you're asking me in a way of saying like, am I more the man in the situation? Then yes." And she's like, "Well, do you feel like you're supposed to be born a male?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do feel." I was like, "Personally, yeah, I do feel like that." She's like, "Well, have you ever considered transitioning or anything?" And I'm like, I've thought about it. It's been a process in my head, but I was like, I don't really know too much about it, so I don't think I'm ready for it yet. So she's like, okay. She's like, in the future, you're able to talk to me, and we can start taking those steps to furthering that for you. And I was like, all right. So yada yada yada. I was 16 when that happened, and then started talking about it more heavily when I turned 22, 21, 22, kind of ending at 21, turning 22. And so that's when, in the beginning of last year, January, is when me and my mom first went to go start meeting with counselors. And I had to do 3 sessions of counseling. And so finally, being 23, at the end of 2016, December 9th, was when I finally got my first shot of testosterone. So, like I said, like, the timing played a huge factor in my life because I was not ready at the age that I knew. I knew that's what I wanted, but I didn't think I was anywhere near like mature. Like, I was not mentally ready. I was not physically ready. I was nowhere near being ready to pursue that kind of commitment. And being older and knowing more and understanding more about the situation, it made me more comfortable. It had nothing to do with anybody around me or like my family not making it comfortable for me or anything. It was definitely 100% all about what I was feeling inside. So being 23, or at the end of being 22, the timing worked out so perfect. It couldn't have come better in my life right now because you know what? I am loving everything that's happening with me right now, like the small changes in my body, my voice. I wish I had a voice recognition videos for you guys, but I don't. And just patience. I mean, I'm a very patient person. Like, I understand the difficulties and like the struggles of how and like the length of time that this is gonna go. So the timing, the patience wasn't really the big of a factor, but I know it is for some people. It brings them into a depressive state because they just can't handle waiting any longer in the body that they're uncomfortable with. So I just want to tell everybody who's pre-T out there, it gets better. Keep it in mind that you're not waiting just for anything. You're not just being patient just for anything. This is something that you're being patient for, something that you have been wanting and you have been missing in your life.